The steel box descended with heavy clunking sounds toward the school's basement. I wonder if this is how a death row inmate feels when his time finally comes.
Oh!
Rather than that, is it not more like a defendant waiting to receive his judgment? Oblivious to our shared anxiety, the elevator lowered us further and further into the bowels of the school. You finally arrived. What do you think? Doesn't it feel just like a real courtroom? It's like a Hollywood movie set, right? Not even close, it's total shit.
Well now.
Okay. Everyone find your assigned seats and sit down. Hurry up now, hurry up. We did what he said and found our seats. The seats were arranged in a giant circle. It was set up so that everyone could see everyone else, which also meant it would be easy for anyone to transfer their tension and unease onto anyone else. The air seemed to grow heavy as we sat there. Nicht erst stood. And so the curtain on our first case opened. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal. A deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly faith. Die Furie passt ja kaum in seinen Platz rein. A deadly class trial. Speichern wir jetzt nicht verkehrt. Set Skills. Wir haben, glaube ich, einen schon bekommen. Da, Melodious Voice, wo ist denn jetzt? Increases damage to the opponent when a statement is destroyed. Effective during the bullet time. Okay. Sonst habe ich, glaube ich, noch nichts. Ein E-Handbook. Die Musik ist gut. Machen wir mal los. Das Gute ist, da muss ich selber nicht mehr vorlesen.
Explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results.
Zumindest das meiste muss ich nicht mehr vorlesen.
If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate.
And the killer really is one of us, right?
Of course!
Okay then. Everyone, close your eyes. And whoever did it, raise your hand.
Don't be a goddamn idiot. Why the hell would they raise their hand?
Before we move on and start the trial, can I ask a question real quick? What's going on with those pictures?
I'd feel awful if they got left out just because they died. Friendship penetrates even death's barrier. Friendship penetrates?
No.
Okay, but what about that other empty seat?
Stimmt, da ist noch einer.
There were only 15 of us to begin with, so why are there 16 seats?
Oh, no reason. It's just that our little courtroom here can technically fit up to 16 people. Okay, that about does it for the preamble. Get ready to get started. First up is the case summary. Now, let the class trial begin.
It's about to begin. The debate to decide who we think the killer is. Anything I found, anything I noticed, I have to be ready to speak up about everything. Because this isn't just about me. Everyone's lives are on the line. Your first non-stop debate is about to begin. Would you like to hear more? Yeah. As things progress during each class trial, you will engage in a number of non-stop debates. During these discussions, characters will speak one after another without pause. It's up to you to unearth any lies or contradictions buried within their statements. What this means is that you'll have to use your truth bullets to refute what they say. Any relevant truth bullets you found during your investigation will be loaded into the truth cylinder. Use the mouse to aim, then fire with the left mouse button. Pay close attention to each character's statements and use your truth bullets to blast the right ones. Note that if you run out of time, you will automatically fail, so please be careful. If you press the escape key during these arguments, you can review the controls. Well then, good luck and have fun. Darf ich erstmal speichern nochmal? Make your argument. Evidence of a struggle. Wie, das ist alles?
I assert that the one who was murdered was Miss Sayaka Maizono.
Moment. Ich konnte da auch irgendwie zwischendrin... gut. Ich kann auch zwischendrin angucken, was für Truth Bullets ich habe. Moment, die Musik ist ein bisschen laut. Ich die irgendwie leiser machen. Ich glaube, kann ich jetzt in die Option? Halt. Nee, komme ich nicht. Ich komme nur zu den Truth Bullets. So, Evidence of the Struggle habe ich. Im Moment habe ich nur einen. Also, man kriegt dann... Man hat nicht, bei den Diskussionen hat man nicht alles zur Verfügung, sondern immer bestimmte und muss dann gucken, was passt und wozu. Und so lange her, dass ich das gespielt habe, deswegen weiß ich selber nicht mehr überall, was ich auswählen muss. Also wenn irgendjemand mal zu irgendeiner Zeit was vorschlagen will oder die Antwort sieht, dann gerne jederzeit sofort in den Chat schreiben. Weil, wie gesagt, das ist lange her. Es kann auch gut sein, dass ich selber erstmal nachdenken muss. Evidence of a Struggle. There are a number of scratches and gouges on the bed and walls in Makoto's room. Das ist das Einzige, was wir jetzt haben. Ne?
And the murder took place in Makoto's room.
In the bathroom. So it seems most likely that the killer must have taken her by surprise while she was in the bathroom. She didn't even have a chance to resist.
Ja. Okay, das ist noch ganz einfach. Am Anfang.
Just a second, Chihiro. Try to remember how my room looked. With the way things had been damaged, I think we can definitely assume there was a struggle.
A struggle? Between who and who?
Between Sayaka and the killer, of course.
So you're saying Sayaka wasn't caught by surprise in the bathroom? She must have been attacked in the main room first. Then, she ran to the bathroom to try and hide. The killer followed her in, and that's where they finished the job.
That much should have been obvious after taking one look at the scene. It shouldn't even need explaining.
Sorry.
Okay, so what's next?
Next is the subject of the murder weapon.
Wow, this is starting to sound like a real trial.
We need to determine what was used to kill Sayaka. Ja, das Messer, ne? Okay, was haben wir diesmal für Truth Bullets? Kitchen Knife Set. Sonst nix? Okay.
So what was used to kill her?
There was some kind of sharp object thrust into her stomach.
Mal eben schauen, was da dazu steht. The kitchen in the dining hall has a set of kitchen knives. One of the knives had gone missing. Okay.
Without a doubt, that is the murder weapon.
So the killer used some random knife they had on him. How could anyone do something like that? That son of a bitch.
Ich glaube, das war's gerade schon. So, was passiert, wenn alle einmal was gesagt haben und man hat noch nichts gefunden, ist, dass es sich dann einfach wiederholt von vorne. Because the object that was thrust into Sayaka's stomach, it was almost certainly the knife that disappeared on a certain occasion. Ja, gut.
So what was used to kill her?
Man kann auch vorspulen.
Without a doubt.
So the killer used some random...
No, that's wrong.
Wie man sieht, ist es noch sehr einfach am Anfang, aber später nicht mehr.
No. I do think it was a knife, but not just any knife. I'm almost positive it was a kitchen knife.
Huh? A kitchen knife?
After the murder, we discovered that one of the knives from the kitchen was missing.
Which means that knife must be the murder weapon.
Oh, yeah. I guess that makes sense. You could sort of see the weapon sticking out of her stomach. And if you look real close, I could totally see that being a kitchen knife.
Okay, so the murder weapon was a kitchen knife. But where does that get us? I mean, we all know Makoto killed her, right?
That's right. Makoto's room was the scene of the crime. What more proof do you need?
Nein.
Hold on a second.
Let's draw our conclusions after we presented our arguments. Otherwise, what's the point of the trial?
Well, we can talk all we want. It's not going to change that conclusion.
I don't think that's true at all. I'm sure if we keep at it, something new will reveal itself.
You really believe that?
She's right. There's gonna be a breakthrough somewhere just waiting for us to find it. Because I know damn well I'm not the killer. There's a bit more to learn about non-stop debates. Would you like to hear more? You can concentrate by holding down the Leer key. While you're concentrating, time will slow down so you can pay closer attention to what everyone's saying. On top of that, it will steady your aim, making it easier to target potential weak spots. Concentrating like this consumes the focus gauge, and if this gauge empties, you can't concentrate. But the focus gauge will recover over time, so let your brain take a rest. No need to rush. Well then, good luck and have fun. Okay, immer noch nur eine Sache. Aoi's Account. Was war das nochmal? Das war, glaube ich... The knife from the kitchen went missing while Aoi was in the dining hall. Aoi swears that Makoto did not come to the dining hall at any point while she was there. Okay. I guess there's no question.
But where does that get us?
Makoto must have taken it from the kitchen, right? He did it in secret. When nobody was in the dining hall. And then he went and stabbed Sayaka with...
So he really did do it.
Yes, in the sight. We've reached the end.
Ich weiß schon was. Ich mach was. Kann ich eigentlich jetzt die Option? Ah, dann mache ich mal die Musik ein bisschen leiser. Die ist ja jetzt hier gerade echt... Da ist die schon so weit runter. Aber ich finde, die ist gerade echt ein bisschen laut in dem Class Trial. Die ist cool, aber ein bisschen laut. So. Hat er das gespeichert? Ja. Gut, dann speichern darf ich gerade nicht. Oh, wie gemein. Some way to prove I didn't take the knife. Ja, ja, das wissen wir schon. Noch ist ja
So I
alles
guess there's no
einfach.
question at the kitchen, but where does that...
Makoto did it in secret.
So.
No,
Techno-Party, genau.
Okay, wait. Hold on. I didn't take the knife from the kitchen.
Next, you're gonna say you're not the killer, right? Go ahead and say it all you want.
Well, what if I have a witness? What do you think, Hina?
Huh?
Remember what you were telling me earlier?
Well, I went to go get some tea from the kitchen last night and all the knives were still there. But when I finished my tea and went back into the kitchen to wash my glass, one of the knives was gone. So you're saying the knife disappeared while you were drinking your tea in the dining hall, miss? Yeah.
Just to be perfectly clear, the knife disappeared while you were in the dining hall, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
And at any point while you were there, did you ever see me come into the dining hall?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, he definitely wasn't there.
Ich finde die Musik immer noch laut. Entschuldigung. Oh, jetzt kann ich auch speichern. Cool.
The knife disappeared while Hina was in the dining hall.
Besser.
But I wasn't there the entire time. In other words, there's no way I could have taken the knife.
Okay, then what about this? What if the idiot swimmer girl and Makoto are in on it together and lying to protect each other? Idiot swimmer girl? Oh, and more importantly, why would I get involved in something like that?
Speaking of which, I'd like to ask the bear, if there is an accomplice, do they also become blackened?
So you ask, and so I shall answer.
Die Musik ist doch cool, ist einfach nur zu laut gewesen.
Each murder is allowed to have an accomplice, but only the one who does the killing will get to graduate.
Das heißt, der Komplize hätte nichts davon.
So in other words, two people can work together, but one of them has no chance of profiting from it.
Then there's no way anyone would work together, right?
But what if they did work together and they just didn't know about the rule?
Good grief! Enough already! No, okay? There are no accomplices in this case!
Okay, danke schön.
Oops! Did I say that out loud?
Anyway, I didn't go to the dining hall, and I didn't take the knife, so I'm not the killer.
Okay, so then, who did take the knife?
Hina seems the obvious candidate. After all, she just said she was in the dining hall.
No way! I swear it wasn't me!
Sure, but can you or anyone else prove that? I can.
That's right! Sakura was with me the entire time I was drinking my tea.
I hate to have to ask, but just to be sure, Sakura's...
Me.
Right.
But then, couldn't either one of them have grabbed
Wie
the
sie das
knife?
gesagt hat. Me.
Actually, no. Because, Well,
Just spit it out already.
I stayed in Hina's room last night.
I got so scared thanks to those creepy videos. I wasn't really thinking, I just asked her to stay over. Which means, we have airtight alibis.
Ist das dieselbe Synchronstimme wie die Katze in Persona 5?
You stayed over? Doesn't that violate one of the school regulations?
We're not allowed to sleep anywhere but the dorms, but it doesn't say we have to stay in our assigned room, so I don't think that's a problem.
It is a problem! A boy and a girl spending the night together? It's unwholesome!
Er hat gerade a boy and a girl gesagt.
But I'm a girl.
You are? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry!
But if it wasn't either of you, then what other possibility is there?
I'm so sorry.
Actually, there is one other possibility. Right, Hina?
Oh, yeah, that's true. One other person did come to the dining hall while we were there.
Why didn't you say so in the first place?
Well, because they're not here anymore.
Someone who's not here? You talking about...
Sayaka.
Oh.
She's the one who came to the dining hall. And then later, she wound up dead.
Sayaka? Okay, so the person who took the knife from the kitchen was...
I got it!
Sayaka herself.
Then, Sayaka is the one who took the knife?
That's the only possibility. And thinking back on it, she was acting kind of unusual. When she came into the dining hall, she didn't even look at us. She just went straight to the kitchen. As she left, she said she just wanted a drink of water. But most likely...
And the person who took the knife was the victim herself.
I'm sure she just took it for self-defense.
Einen Moment, ich höre ein Baby. Ich checke mal eben, ob es Zeit für die Pause ist. Gleich, aber noch nicht. Aber ja, ich fand die Stelle immer so lustig, wo er denkt, dass, ja, wo er sagt, boy and a girl. But I'm a girl. I'm sure she just took it for self-defense.
So you're saying the knife she took was then taken from her, and she was killed with it? In that case, you may not have taken the knife, but you still could have killed her.
Scheiße.
What?
See? He did do it after all.
No, you're wrong.
So, that's how you would twist the argument and send us all off in the wrong direction? You possess a most terrifying talent.
Damn, if I don't do something, they're gonna blame me for the murder. Don't they understand? If they convict me, everyone's gonna die.
Hold on. It's still too early to decide conclusively that Makoto is the killer, wouldn't you say? Because you see, if the room did belong to the killer, then they did something most bewildering. And until we unravel that little mystery, you simply can't declare that he's the killer.
Bewildering? What the hell are you talking about?
Something was missing from the scene of the crime that by all rights should have been there. You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Do I? Your first Hangman's Gambit is about to begin. Would you like to hear more? As things advance further in a class trial, the Hangman's Gambit will eventually take place. The point of this is to reveal an important phrase related to the incident in question. Oh nein, indeed, aber im zweiten Teil fand ich das noch viel schlimmer. You'll have to deduce the phrase from the letters flying around and the letters already known. Complete the phrase by shooting down the flying letters in the right order. Use the mouse to aim, then press the left mouse button to shoot the desired letters. If you shoot down the wrong letters, you'll suffer damage to your influence gauge. If this gauge reaches 0, or if you run out of time, you fail. Well then, good luck and have fun. Something that should have been at the scene but wasn't. That must be the crucial point. Ich weiß jetzt gerade echt nicht, was sie meint. Was hätte denn da sein sollen, aber war nicht da? We can figure out what that something is. Schauen wir mal. Ich glaube, es sind ja schon ein paar... Das ist so wie Dings. Hä? Ui. Ah, Haare. Ja. Ich wollte das... Ja. Klar, Haare.
Now I understand.
War ja auch richtig.
That's right. There wasn't a single hair on the floor.
So, the culprit removed some evidence?
Yes. And if I were the culprit, why would I need to get rid of all the hair in my own room?
Tatsache.
It wouldn't be unusual at all to find my hair at the crime scene if the crime scene is in my room.
The reason all the hair was gone was to remove any trace that Sayaka had ever been there. That makes sense, does it not?
No. If that were the case, they would have had to do something about the body itself, not just her hair.
Ha ha ha! Yes, very true, very true.
Okay, then why wasn't there any hair on the ground?
The killer got rid of it all, of course, to remove any trace that they had ever been there.
Wait, then that means...
Precisely. It's simply beyond reason to believe that the room's owner and the killer are one and the same.
Then, Makoto isn't the culprit?
Are you sure we can decide something so important based solely on the absence of some hair?
No. There are other reasons that prove why Makoto couldn't have done it.
I would like to hear these reasons.
Do you remember anything remarkable about the bathroom at the scene? Sayaka was attacked in the main room first, then fled into the bathroom, right?
Yeah, then they ran after her, got into the bathroom, and stabbed her.
And how did the killer get into the bathroom? Did they have any trouble with it?
What do you mean?
It's fairly certain that the killer had some trouble getting into the bathroom. There was clear evidence left behind. Do you remember, Makoto?
The killer struggled getting into the bathroom, and the evidence that proves it is the object the killer broke. Der Türgriff. Jetzt hätte ich fast das Falsche ausgewählt, weil das Bild gleich ist. Ja.
I got it! Evidence that the killer had trouble getting into the
War
bathroom.
richtig.
You're talking about the doorknob, right?
Huh? The doorknob? What doorknob?
Your face.
The doorknob for my bathroom. It was completely broken. See how the top part was unscrewed? And the doorknob's about ready to fall off?
Oh yeah, true. But what does it mean?
In trying to bypass the lock, they ended up nearly removing the entire doorknob. This is another most bewildering act for the room's owner. It proves Makoto is beyond suspicion.
Stimmt.
So what? You're saying he wouldn't break the door in his own room? But if the only choice you have is to break it, you break it. There's nothing bewildering about it.
You still don't see? Okay then. Let's take another look at how the incident unfolded. Hopefully that will help you understand.
Kyoko said it was a bewildering act. I almost didn't notice it at first, but is that the key point here? There's a bit more to learn about non-stop debates. Would you like to hear more? From here on out, the number of weak spots will start going up. But no matter how many weak spots, there's essentially only one lie or contradiction in that debate. What I'm trying to say is not all weak spots you see are necessarily false. Use a truth bullet on the wrong one, and not only will you fail to refute what they said, but you'll also lower your trust with everyone and your influence gauge will take damage. Now this is important because if your influence gauge reaches 0, you fail. You'll have to rely on your own logic to determine which weak spots are actually lies or contradictions. Well then, good luck and have fun. Okay, aber immerhin weiterhin nur eine Truth Bullet. Später gibt's dann nämlich auch noch mehrere.
The incident took place in the...
Moment. Bathroom Door Frame, was standen da noch so? Das ist mal ganz gut, sich das nochmal durchzulesen. Ach, das war das, dass die Tür nicht richtig aufgeht. Makoto's bathroom door was difficult to open due to it not quite fitting in the door frame properly. The only two people who knew the trick to opening it were Makoto, the room's owner, and Sayaka, the victim.
Sayaka was first attacked in the main room.
Okay, das hat nichts damit zu
She
tun.
then fled into the bathroom.
Then the killer ran after her. And they got into the bathroom.
At that point, the killer had to try and bust down the door. Because Sayaka had locked it.
No, that's wrong. The reason my bathroom didn't open wasn't because it was locked. After all, the girls' rooms are the only ones with locking bathrooms, right?
Yes, now that you mention it, that is true.
Then why didn't your bathroom door open?
Because it was stuck.
Huh? What are you talking about?
My bathroom door doesn't fit in the frame quite right. Monokuma over there can testify to that.
Yup, true as true can be. But you know, you're supposed to be the ultimate lucky student, right?
Muss auch immer wieder
But to
reinreiben.
have such a cruddy door, that's not lucky at all.
Fick dich.
So the reason the door didn't open was just because it was stuck. But the killer didn't know that and assumed it was locked. So they tore apart the doorknob to get in.
Okay, but then why would the killer even think the door was locked in the first place? Everyone should have known you can't lock any of the boys' bathrooms.
Weil die Schilder vertauscht
The
wurden.
killer could easily make that mistake, thanks to one important detail about the scene of the crime.
The killer was convinced the bathroom door was locked. So they didn't know that the door actually couldn't be locked. In other words, the important detail about the scene of the crime that they didn't know was,
I got it!
dass es mein Zimmer war,
The
statt
killer must
Sayakas.
not have realized that it was my room.
What? Are you saying the culprit didn't even know where he was? That's inconceivable.
And yet, he's absolutely right.
Say what?
Well, to be more specific, what the killer didn't know was that Makoto and Sayaka had switched rooms, which is what led to the misunderstanding about the bathroom. If Sayaka had been in her own room, then
there would have been a lock on the door, and they would have had to break through.
So they had no idea how unnecessary their actions were.
ultimately, we can't know if it came open by force or simply by accident. The killer must have been considerably confused, with no idea how they actually got the door opened.
Regardless, it was a pointless act. Wasting time trying to break down a door that wasn't locked is...
Definitely something I wouldn't do, since I would have known exactly why it wasn't opening, right?
That is a definite possibility.
So the killer would have to be someone who didn't know they'd switched rooms?
Then Makoto couldn't have done it.
Sag ich doch die ganze Zeit. That's what I've been trying to tell you.
Okay, then who did do it?
I'm sorry, but I give up. Quit without saving.
Wo wir gerade von Saving sprechen.
But what happens if we can't decide on who we think did it?
Well, why don't we just vote right now? Majority rules.
Nein.
Majority rules? You really think that's a good idea?
Yeah, our necks are on the line here. Someone seriously needs to do something. For serious.
Does no one have any other thoughts or
Pause.
questions?
Nochmal ins Mikrofon sagen? Nee? Nein, Mikrofon lieber. So, jetzt geht's weiter. Jetzt könnt ihr alle wieder eintrudeln. Das war, ich glaube, das war jetzt eine Viertelstunde. Das war auch, womit ich so gerechnet habe. Als kleine Unterbrechung. Ich hoffe, es ist nicht so nervig für euch, aber es ist halt auf jeden Fall auch für Sabine einfacher. Ich habe das sonst immer gehört, wenn ich hier am Stream war, wie sie einen Raum weiter im Badezimmer mit Aiden gekämpft hat und gleichzeitig versucht hat, selber Zähne zu putzen, Kontaktlinsen rauszunehmen und so, ohne dass Aiden alles zerlegt. Und da habe ich doch eher ein schlechtes Gewissen gehabt, wenn ich hier fröhlich am Zocken und Streamen bin, während ich nebenan höre, was für ein Kampf das ist. Deswegen dachte ich, es ist jetzt nicht so der Akt für die Zeit, mal eben Aiden zu nehmen, damit sie das in Ruhe machen kann. Und dann können alle mal auf Klo gehen. Und so. Und jetzt geht's weiter. Kann ich mal speichern. Die Tür habe ich eh zu. Aber man hört das trotzdem. Und das wäre natürlich gemein. Wo waren wir? Ach genau. da Makoto jetzt nicht mehr der Hauptverdächtige ist, hat keiner irgendeine Ahnung, wer es dann sein könnte. Und wie hieß er? Taka hat vorgeschlagen, wir wählen einfach mal so.
Oh, as a matter of fact, I do have one question.
Oh, you.
Oh, you. Das klang ja begeistert.
You don't gotta sound so disappointed.
It's fine, it's fine. Just ask your question.
Habe ich eigentlich vorhin wirklich die Aufnahme angemacht? Ja, habe ich. Ich bin manchmal ein bisschen paranoid, was das angeht. Gut, weiter.
Oh yeah. Okay, so,
Oh, you.
well, I was just wondering, how did the culprit get into Makoto's room in the first place?
Das ist tatsächlich eine gute Frage. Die hat Makoto sicher auch schon gestellt.
Yes. How did the killer get inside?
Maybe Sayaka just dropped the key somewhere and the culprit picked it up. That's possible, right?
Als sie sich das Messer geholt hat, könnte das natürlich passiert sein.
I don't think so. That seems way too convenient.
Then, maybe someone picked the lock?
Negative! If you remember, Monokuma made it quite clear that the locks are all unpickable.
Fine. How about this? The killer got in the easy way. They could have knocked and said they wanted to talk or something, and Miss Maizono just let him in.
Stimmt, selbst wenn sie den Schlüssel hätte fallen lassen, aber die Schilder waren ja vertauscht. Wenn sie den Schlüssel hätte fallen lassen, wäre der Mörder ja zum anderen Raum gegangen.
No,
Also,
that can't be
der
it
Schlüssel
either.
hätte nicht gepasst.
Oh, trying to argue against me? Sounds like someone doesn't know his place. Hello? Why exactly can't that be it?
Because she asked me to do something in particular because of how frightened she was. That's the answer right there. There's no way Sayaka let someone in because... Because... Keine Ahnung.
I got it!
Ups. Das hat nur
Because
geraten. Ich
Sayaka
wollte
was
eigentlich
already
die...
scared, remember? That's why she asked me to switch rooms in the first place.
Ich wollte eigentlich die Beschreibung, den Text zu der Truth Bullet lesen. Jetzt habe ich sie aus Versehen ausgewählt, aber zum Glück war es eh die richtige. The same goes for you, Sayaka. No matter who it is, hatten wir doch vorhin schon mal. Even if I'm sure it's you, I absolutely won't open it. Otherwise, what's the point of even switching?
Knowing what she'd been through, I just can't believe she would have opened the door for anyone.
What if her being scared was a lie?
Huh?